What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. I'm going to show you all 10 of my crazy cars in this video. Stay tuned. What is going on, guys? We are back with another video, and this is a video that I've been wanting to make for a very long time, showing you guys all of my cars in one place. And I knew that this wouldn't really be able to happen until, basically this open house car show that I had over the weekend. Well, it is now Monday. The car show was Saturday, but I still have all the cars lined up, and we're gonna give you a walk around of every car, the stories, what's done to them, bring you through the whole lineup. That kind of fills you in on all the different YouTube videos and all the cars that I have gathered over the years, and fill you in on some stuff that you might not know. I'm also going to start up each one of these cars, and you guys can tell me which one you think sounds the best, which one's your favorite. And I know that a lot of you guys have watched the builds on this channel. We've had a lot of cars come and go, but this is the current lineup. So let's go hop into it. I also want to mention that these are my primary cars. I do have quite a bit more cars than that. I also scrapped over 15, 20 cars in the past few weeks, but I do still have a few 99, I think these are two 99 Cobras, V6 Mustang, there's a bunch of other stuff here. But what I'm talking about here is my primary cars. These are the cars that I consider like mine. These are just, they're tools to make money. Also, guys, make sure you slap that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new. It takes a lot of money and craziness to do this stuff on the channel. And believe it or not, I don't make a lot of money from YouTube channel. I make money from parting out cars, tuning cars, and all of that different business sense there. Help support the video, get it out to more people. So we're gonna start all the way down here in no particular order, other than this is how I had them laid out at the car show. Behind me is my 03 Marauder, 50,000 miles. It's a one owner car. Actually bought this from a NBA player from the Miami Heat. I don't know if I should say his name or not, but it's a pretty cool car, super low mileage, and it has a blown up motor, but we're putting a Gen 3 10R80 in this thing. Now, if you saw my video of the Cobra getting done on the dyno the other day, you saw that a semi-truck stuffed the front end of this thing. And I'm pretty bummed because this thing is really, really mint condition. We're gonna get that fixed. They are hopefully paying for all that. We're gonna get a nice, fresh front end, front bumper. If you guys have a Marauder front bumper, let me know. But a little disappointing, but we'll get there. To give you guys the walk around, like I said, engine is blown up, zero compression in one of the cylinders, doesn't start, has really poor, compression crank. Interior wise, absolutely mint condition. Really, really excited for this. Four-door Ford. My idea behind this was like a Ford version of a Hellcat, if that gives you any indication of having some boost. I also have been tuning a ton of 10-speed cars lately, but I didn't want to go buy a brand new Mustang. We're gonna get a Marauder with a 10-speed and maybe a Whipple. Who knows? Comment down below what you would like to see in the Marauder, but 10-speed, Gen 3, Coyote, I already have the drivetrain for it. Well, so Marauder, pretty simple. Doesn't run, I can't give you any sound clips, but just know that hopefully this build series cuts underway. As long as something crazy doesn't happen and your insurance company doesn't total it out or something like that, I'm pretty excited about this one. behind me, 2014 Mustang GT. Yes, you heard that right. This car came with a Coyote 5-liter MT82. It's got a funny story about it. It got parted out. Someone sold me the engine and transmission on it, and then they sold me more parts off the car. Then they sold me the roller, and then it kind of burnt me on the title, honestly. So I was gonna crush it, and then I was like, well, let me stick this engine and transmission in here, and boom, Holley EFI Terminator X. This is a 5.4 liter Lightning engine. Paid $250 for it. MT82 I got for free from Cody as a blown 5th gear. This was literally a parts laying around build, and it absolutely dominated at the Mustang Week burnout competition. So I did recently lower the car down, put it on these Brembo wheels. It looks pretty sick. Now, I do have some more things coming up with this. I have a ported blower from Jokers. It just arrived. It'll actually look a little better than this old, you know, kind of decaying looking blower. But believe it or not, this thing does run and drive. Currently has a bad alternator. I also blew the rear end at some point, but I got the rear end swapped out and fixed. Interior isn't too special. These are just seats I had laying around. Boom, threw them in there. The dash, cluster, all that works. Holley Terminator X over there. It is a pretty dang cool car. We did a return style fuel system, 80-pound injectors, runs on E85. We made 395 horsepower, but like 490 foot-pound of torque on just the stock blower. 395, 489. Smooth grab. I'm excited to see what it's going to make with that Joker's ported blower. Now, I'm going to go get it started up. Now, just know it has an alternator that's bad, and it's got some exhaust leaks and maybe a coil or two down. It seems to kind of clear out once you rev on it, but let's go ahead and start her up. All right, so lightning swap, like I said, exhaust leaks, maybe some coils, you know, it needs a little bit of love, but we're gonna get it back on the dyno here pretty soon, and see if we can make some more power out of this whole 5.4 before we have to go probably rebuild that motor at some point, because we have beat the crap out of it. Okay, so the next 3 cars have a very special place in my heart. Those of you guys who have watched the channel for a while, you know that. This one is the most important car ever to me. And it sucks that it's kind of in the condition that it is. You guys saw, this is my 2000 Mustang GT. This is my car that I bought in high school. I bought this car without even my parents' permission because I had the money, the cash to go get it. Didn't know how to drive a manual transmission. Had a 2-valve in it when I got it. Swapped it to a 4-valve because the 2-valve blew up. It got me into cars. I had to sell it, unfortunately, because I couldn't keep up with it, and I would have to either leave it in Rhode Island when I went for college and not have a car, or sell it and buy something a little bit more reliable. So a couple years back, I bought this car back, had a 4-valve in it. The new owner went through a few motors in it as well, and we dropped the Coyote in it, pro-charged it, had the car looking beautiful. Unfortunately, an incident happened with lug nuts on the wheel. The wheel flew off, destroyed the side skirt, the exhaust, the fender. So it's kind of in the middle stage right now. This car means so much to me, so I want to go ahead and do it right. Paint this car. We're gonna drop the engine and trans out and just go crazy on it. And new color change, Roush, full Roush kit. This car's always had the side exhaust on it, so let's check it out. Okay, so like I said, I showed some clips that this car did have a completely different look before. It looked killer. It's a little bit different now, but if you guys notice, the Pro Charger is gone. I sold that. I actually set up to go ahead and put a Predator supercharger ported on this thing. So I do have to swap the timing cover out, so when this engine gets taken out to paint the bay, we're just going to go right through this thing. So currently it's naturally aspirated, which is actually the first time it has been naturally aspirated since it's been coyote swapped. But you can see that we have the Roush front bumper, Roush side skirts. I have a Roush spoiler. We're going full Roush kit on this. This is actually not the fender that got messed up when the wheel came off. This is one that I had laying around. You can see the color doesn't match. The fitment's awful. So it makes me a little sad to see this car like this, but I just don't want to rush it and have it not be perfect. Like I said, this is a Gen 1 truck engine Coyote. Ended up doing Mustang cams, oil pump gear, crank gear, ported Boss manifold. A lot of this is going to end up changing and probably end up putting a Gen 3 short block in it. There's a lot going there. We also did a T56 Magnum in this with a Vengeance Stage 2 clutch. We also have a 0304 Cobra IRS. So this car kind of escalated, and it was kind of like, well, this car is special to me, so might as well go the full 9. 0304 Cobra, dark charcoal seats, my favorite seats. Looks killer. I absolutely can't wait to be able to drive this car again. We have circuit performance wheels, 18x11 rear, 335 rear tire, 18x9.5 front, 275 front. This thing looks killer. You can see the Roush side skirts here. I also have a Roush spoiler to go on it as well. Side exhaust. This is one of the things that made this car super special when I got it originally back in, I think it was 2013 or 2012. It had side exhaust, super cool. Really like that about it. So I'm gonna start it up. I did throw an NA tune in it, so it does run pretty decent. We're gonna go rev it. Obviously it doesn't have Pro Charger noises anymore. It did sound pretty freaking wicked with the Pro Charger. But kind of decided that the PD blower is going to be a lot of fun. We can make probably 900 to 1,000 wheel with the Predator blower. Previously, it made 650 with the Pro Charger kit on 93. So the new iteration is probably going to get a little wild. The exhaust setup is ultimate headers going into a Borla XR1 muffler with a custom X pipe, all custom exhaust, 3-inch. So there's a lot more to say about this car. Like I said, it's super special to me. This car I'm going to keep forever. Had it in high school. Ashley and I went to prom in it. You know, it's going to get done right. And the color change is going to be awesome. So hopefully you guys are excited for that. And stay tuned for more on that build. But yes, this is the first Coyote swap I did. It's kind of the intro into just me really getting into the intricacies of this. And yeah, it's pretty awesome. So behind me is actually one of the newest cars I have bought for the channel. It's my 2004 Cobra convertible Red Fire. If you guys have been watching the channel for a while, I had a Red Fire 03 Cobra coupe that was just, it was kind of my car that I bought. I saved up some money. I sold my other daily driver 01 Cobra. I bought my 03 Cobra. I didn't have a ton of money to work with to build and do everything I wanted to do it. And you guys saw over a span of a few years, I built that into a 700 wheel horsepower monster. It's wild to look back and see all the things that I did on that car, the struggles, the things I didn't know that I do know now. And it was really the car that led to my 2014 GT500, which was a whole other wild build. $100,000+ went into El Chapo. And then we ended up parting that out and selling it, getting the GT500. But it all stemmed from the Red Fire Cobra. About a month and a half ago, I went down to help my friend Blake pick up a 03 Cobra convertible that he was buying. Brought the trailer down, and there just so happened to be another Red Fire Cobra being sold by the same guy. This thing had a blown motor, and I bought it. I got a killer deal on it, and I was like, you know what, screw it. I had decided that I was going to build my silver Cobra, which was coyote swapped. I do still have that car here, but I did sell it. That's another story. But I had decided to build that one into a 4.6 valve. Well, what ended up happening is I built this one. So really wild. I built this car in like 3 weeks. It has a cammed 11-to-1 compression 4.6 valve, ported blower, E85, fuel system, long tubes, MS3 ECU. Just the full 9. Went wild with this thing. T56 Magnum, RX T1200, just went crazy. What took me years to do in the other car, it was like a no-brainer in this car, which is just incredible for how much the knowledge and everything has grown. Now, there are some paint things that I want to fix up on this car, but it still presents extremely well, and I'm so stoked to be able to drive this car. I do have a few little things to fix up. If you guys saw on the dyno, we made 603, 605 on this stock Eaton. Dude, look how smooth that is. Oh my God.
My skin's never that smooth. Look at that.
Dude, 602, 605. I mean, that's insane. So just the level of builds now is just so crazy, and how easy this went together and made some serious power. It's just absolutely wild. Like I said, the Cook's long tubes that I used on this with slip fit collector, it's garbage. We're just going to swap out the headers completely. We will talk about that a little bit later. I can still start it up and give you guys an exhaust clip. Just know that it has this rattle that drives me crazy. And we're not done making power. I think I have a little bit of room to make maybe 630 to 650 on this Eaton. We're going to test some more things out. So we do have some DNA motoring headlights. Those look sick. AFCO heat exchanger, Forge Star D5 wheels. I also have a matching beadlock D5 drag pack for it, which looks sick. We're running Viking coilers up front, UPR tubular K-member, A-arms, T56 Magnum, like I told you. The interior is pretty decent. I haven't had the full clean. We got our crucial data points, oil pressure, wideband, super important. MS3 ECU is tucked down over there. The convertible top works, which is a super huge plus. Like I said, currently Cook's long tubes and going to a Steeda Touring catback. But it's a little bit quiet for me, so we're going to be swapping that out for some boreless stingers. We're also swapping over to an X-pipe and PBK long tubes that don't leak. Honorable mention, ambers. These have been on my Red Fire original Terminator, the Bullet, the Silver Cobra, and now back on a Red Fire Terminator. So they've been around for a while. The engine bay is not completely done, but the goal was to make something super sweet, clean, and it just kind of grabs your eye when you pop the hood. I got some killer powder coating done by Blake. We did the pulley bridge as well. Wrinkle blue valve covers. We have some different coil covers getting done up. Polish, Steggy ported blower. We have the powder coated elbow intake right there. We have this facing down because we're using an MS3, so we don't actually need a MAF. Looks killer. I absolutely love it. We're currently running a 6-pound lower, 3.1 upper. I think if we drop down to a 2.9 upper, we might start seeing this thing kick into that 630 range. So definitely want to try it out. It may be out of efficiency zone. We don't know yet. One other thing is, if you notice this AN line running here, it's also running Volvo electric power steering. So you basically key it on, has hydraulic pump, but it's electric, and it pumps the brake booster and the steering rack for power steering. Pretty cool. Something I decided to do because the Ford power steering pumps are kind of a pain in the butt, and it works really well with this build and kind of cleans some things up. We don't have a reservoir there. It just looks really, really killer. In some ways, this car is going to be my street car replacement. We'll talk about what it's replacing here once we walk down the line. But I built this car with the intention of just being able to hop in it, drive it. We got a flex fuel sensor on it as well. Put any iteration of 93 E85 in it. And yeah, the goal is to hop in it, drive it, beat it up if I want to, put it back in the garage. Street car. So I think that's what we built. I think it's going to do it pretty well, and we'll see how it goes. Also worth noting, has cams. Now the exhaust leak is making it run a little funky because, you know, it's just not getting the right air fuel reading mixture. So once we get that fixed up, it will be good to go and ready to rip on the street. Okay, so the next car, you guys know, this also just kind of plays into the history of the channel. If you guys didn't see it, Turdzilla, the color reveal. This car has been through it all. We picked this up as the green turd back when Scott was on the channel. First project car, 2-valve, thing was a total pile of crap. This thing's been in probably 10 accidents. The car has seen a lot, and we transformed this car pretty well. Also, it was on a budget kind of thing at the time. I had a Radfire Cobra and I had this 0304 Cobra bumper on it. We painted it. I got ran off the road in this car, destroyed the front bumper in it, and it just kind of spiraled this rebuild. We wrapped it green, this wild green, and then we 4-valve swapped the car. Long story short, I ended up trading this car for someone with an 01 Cobra. It made more sense because the 01 Cobra is worth more money. I don't know why I got rid of it, but it financially it made sense. I made some money out of it, but this car got absolutely destroyed. It got parted out basically. It almost got flooded. It just was in really poor shape when I bought it back. So I bought it back with no engine or transmission. Probably paid way more than I should have. I paid $1,000 for the roller. And I mean, I paid $1,500 for it running and driving years before. But we did a lot of work to it, and we put a 4.63 valve in it, cammed. Now has a full Celine kit on it. If you guys look, it looks pretty freaking wild. Got a few more things to touch up, but we even had a really hard time getting this thing wrapped and finished out with the Celine kit. The other hood came up, destroyed the windshield, destroyed the A-pillar, destroyed the fender. Cody and I then refixed all that. This is why OG doesn't have a hood, because we stole OG's hood for this. I said, well, if we're gonna buy a new hood, it's gonna be for OG, not this car. So the car, it's a solid, I don't know, 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. You know, it's getting there, but it looks freaking killer. If you notice, we actually have a heat exchanger mounted up there. That's because there are plans to boost this car. Now I'm gonna pop the hood. The engine bay does not look phenomenal yet. When I got this car back, I had a bunch of rollers. My GT500 was a roller, this was a roller. There was just a bunch of rollers everywhere. And I just didn't want another car that didn't run. So we stuffed this 3-valve in here with a T45. The T45 that was actually out of OG. got it running and driving with a 3-valve, which was insane. And yeah, I mean, it runs. It's kind of pretty crazy. It was a 4.6 3-valve with a stock computer, cammed, and lockouts, and we ran on a stock computer. Now, I do have a Mega Squirt ECU. If you guys know, it's kind of a common thing. I tune a lot of them. Mega Squirt ECU, just car makes really good power, drives really smooth. We made 360 wheel horsepower with this car naturally aspirated. Absolutely badass. You can see we have the full Saleen kit, Saleen front bumper, Saleen side skirts, Saleen side scoops, Saleen spoiler, and Saleen rear bumper. We got a few more odds and ends. There's little grills, mesh that kind of go in there, and there's a few more things to finish up on it, but it made it for the car show open house, and I am stoked that it made it. Now, interior wise, it is a little basic and looks a little run down at the moment, but one cool thing is it does have this pretty cool digital dash that we put in just recently that works with the Mega Squirt ECU. Pretty freaking cool. So, like I said, engine bay, it's a little dirty. We just primed the fenders, kind of dusty. Ford Racing manifold, cold air intake, simple, easy setup. Runs pretty good. Okay, let's talk about my 1990 Fox Body, the oldest car on the channel. Picked this car up. I traded a Drift New Edge car that I had for this. This had a blown up LS 6-liter 6.2 in it, and came with a T56 with it and a Holly. And obviously, I could have just dropped an LS motor right in it and it would have been turnkey, ready to rock. But no, we did not end up doing that. We coyote swapped it. And this is actually the motor out of my silver Terminator Cobra that was coyote swapped. We did a lot of videos with it naturally aspirated. We did a lot of nitrous on it, raced it a lot, and put a Predator supercharger on that engine. Held up really well. Stock truck motor, took it apart, oil pump gear, crank gear, powder coated the valve covers, and stuffed it into this Fox Body and beat the crap out of it again. This motor is so healthy, so awesome. And it's really just been through the ringer, and it keeps on ticking. Well, not ticking, but you know.
Let's go, baby.
Like I said, 1990 Fox Body. This is more of a race car, but you know, we do have alternator, we do have power steering. It doesn't have AC or any, you know, real amenities other than it has, you know, an angle kit, has a hydro dual caliper setup. This is a Scotty D quick angle kit, UPR tubular K and A-arms. Well, actually not A-arms. This has the Scotty D A-arms. We powder coated the valve covers, looks sick. 18 manifold, locked out. JLT cold air, running the power by the hour accessory brackets. So we got the alternator there. We have a Ford factory power steering pump over down there. Electric fan, pretty simple combo. Car runs, performs extremely well. We got some Cosmes wheels, Very simple interior. We got a really nice fuel cell in the back. Very simple setup. We have a hydraulic clutch Weldwood setup. And it's really basic in here. You know, got a switch panel up top. The car just, it works. It's a bit of a race car, but you know, it is registered and insured, so it's fully able to be driven on the street. There are some things I wanted to fix up. The previous owner, when he blew up the 6-liter, he actually kicked the shit out of the rear bumper.
I'm gonna fuck up this whole car while I part it out. It was gonna be a dash car anyway. Like, what does it matter? I flipped out about that now. It really don't fucking matter, right? Like oh, come on. That was for you, Jake. But whatever. I'm gonna keep that. All right, I gotta make a couple phone calls, I guess, to figure out how exactly I'm getting this thing.
If I can find the clip, I'll post it up here, but he blocked me on Facebook, so that's a whole other story. The previous owner of this thing is batshit crazy. But anyways, yeah, he kicked the crap out of the bumper. So at some point, I want to kind of do a respray on it and, you know, kind of go through it. The paint actually presents really well, but it does have its defects here and there, but it is also a drift car. For a car that performs, this car performs extremely well. Really good drift car. Throw it around, have fun all day. And it is badass. Exhaust setup is ultimate long tube headers swap to basically straight pipes, violator, exhaust muffler, and dumps. So let's start her up. Working our way down the line, we have my 07 GT500. This is a real GT500, 20,000 mile race car. This car has some history on the channel. My good friend Cody, he built this car with a 5.4 supercharger, went kind of crazy on it. We kind of put together some really decent data. The car went like a 3.9 6130 with a Whipple 3.8 on it. It was flying, but we never put it together for a really good pass. A lot of issues with it, and if we knew what we did now back then, this car would have flew when in Cody's possession, and I probably wouldn't have ever owned it. Cody got frustrated with it, you know, tuning issues and all this different stuff. Like I said, if I was tuning then, like I do now, there would be zero issue. So I got the car back, had plans to 6R80 swap it and Coyote turbo. Ended up doing a T56 Magnum XL, Coyote, single turbo, Gen 2 Coyote, and we raced this all last year. With the very first outing, we went mid-9s. The very next outing, like a few days later, we went 9-1 in this car at 155 or so. We dialed this car in last year with a stock Gen 2 motor to an 892 at 160. Just starting this year, I pulled that engine out in good working order, and well, we put a built sleeved Gen 3 Coyote from Texas Speed, and this car is basically just waiting to go on the dyno and race this year. It's been a really busy year so far, so I haven't had the time yet, but we're gonna give a little walk around and show you guys this car. This car is really special to me and to Cody, and it's pretty wild because this is a real deal GT500, clean title, low mileage, no accidents, and it's a full-on race car. It's almost ruined, if, you know, depending on how you talk. Yes, it doesn't have a 5.4 liter, but it does have a fully built Coyote single turbo. Now, in terms of a race car platform, this is a fantastic combo to go with. These parts are still readily available. 5.4/5.8 stuff is so expensive. You put a hole in a 5.4/5.8 head, you're looking at $7,000. You put a hole in the 5.4/5.8 block, $7,000 to $10,000 before your internals. So, in terms of a engine that is affordable, to race and not be really mad, the Coyote is a fantastic platform. Not to say a 5.4/5.8 wouldn't perform extremely well. It's just it's over my budget of what I can afford to kind of keep race car alive. So we did do a tubular front end, so you can see basically cut off from the shock towers down. This is a CG Fab modified turbo kit. The rest of the cold side and the modifications to the hot side were done by my friend Hendrik at Switchback Racing. Ported Boss Manifold 1320 Junkie, locked out cams, Holley Terminator X. I started tuning on this car and I fell in love with tuning, and I learned so much, and I started tuning for other people after this car, and everything, just stock motor, pushed it to the limit and never had a single problem. And I absolutely love it. So we got the welds on the front, we got some RC comps on the rear. I don't really love these wheels, but just what I had that was beadlock laying around. We got some matching Corbos in the interior, Holley digital dash, Ford Racing steering wheel delete. Now, it does have full interior-ish, but this dash is, this dash is completely gutted. There's not much to it. 850 cert cage, CO2 boost control mounted on the cage there. Fuel system, fuel cell. It does have a 15-gallon main tank that I can take in and out. It has a 5-gallon surge tank. Fully built 8.8. This is actually the rear end out of El Chapo because I destroyed the ring gear on this at Mod National, swapped it in the pits. So this has El Chapo's old 331 rear end, carbon fiber deck lid, looks killer, power chute. The car was fully sanded down. This is painted, fully sanded down from white and blue stripe GT500 to matte black. Cody's an absolute animal, and yeah, that's what he did. So we still have some stickers on it from Mod Nationals, but I'm not a big sticker guy. They're just there because they were the class sponsors. But this car is absolutely sick, and I can't wait to race it this year and push it closer to 7s, because this new motor combo, we're probably looking at about 1,600 wheel horsepower that we're going to use on track. Probably see around 1,300 or so on the dyno, and then use some more at the track as needed. Garrett 76 mil GTX 5020R Gen 2. Just a little 76, you know. But it is true. The inducer is 76, but it is a large frame T6. So absolutely massive, badass turbo there. You can see the CG Fab hot side. Car is simple, but works. There's not crazy big money into it, into the engine, that is, but it is a very stout unit. So it is starting to rain, but we're gonna try to finish up this video even if I get soaking wet. Behind me is the 2021 GT500. This is the wildest, most expensive, craziest car I've ever bought. 1,200 wheel horsepower, carbon fiber track pack GT500. This car was over 100 grand new, 36 plus grand into the turbo kit. Absolutely wild street car, turnkey. You can drive this to the grocery store, you can drive this across country, you can go roll race, do whatever you want. 1,200 wheel horsepower on tap. I recently dynoed it. It made 1191. With plenty more left on the table. I just didn't want to push it past 1200. Just a beast. Carbon fiber wheels. I also had a drag pack for it as well. This is a Helion sleeper kit. Has a Plasma Man intake manifold, Corsa active catback. I absolutely love this car. It has been so perfect, and this car is kind of wild to say. I don't know if I've really said it on the channel before, but it's also paid in full. I paid cash for it. Everything here is all paid off too, which is a really wild feeling to have and be. Also leads into the next thing is that everything you see here, this property, I've been renting for a while. I was supposed to buy it, and certain things I'll fill you guys in later, but they didn't work out. I kind of got screwed out of it, and I bought a new property in a little bit further away from here, but a little closer to Orlando. And it's gonna be really better for my family and everything and business. So you guys are gonna see that here soon. But in order to make that deal happen, I had to sell this car. It's paid for. It's a lot of money to be able to clear up in one shot. So we went ahead and sold this car, basically trading this for a house. Now, I don't know about you, but trading a car for a house is kind of a good thing to do. But I do wanna show you the car one last time here before it leaves. And yeah, so let's go check it out. So I bought the car from my good friend Don Gift. He is the one who had the turbo kit done. He actually asked me when he got this car, he's like, what should I do to it? I was like, dude, you should twin turbo it. He went ahead and did it. It's wild, has always been wild. When I got it down to Florida, retuned it again and did rolling anti-lag, changing modes, all this cool stuff. And also ceramic coated, paint correction, just absolutely insane. Carbon fiber wheels, just absolutely one of the wildest things about this car and this setup. Wild spoiler, you know, just a truly crazy car. So let's go ahead and get her started up. So the engine bay is a little bit dirty, dusty right now, but Plasma Man, intake, Helion sleeper kit. Not much to see up here. Fat house fab, catch can. Super simple. Triple pump, return fuel system. Pretty simple setup, honestly. Okay, so behind me is actually also one of the newest additions to the channel. I have a video coming out on this. This is our 2020 Aviator Black Label. Traded in our Tesla. This is Ashley's daily driver, but these are actually really cool. Black Label's fully decked out, super cool, peanut butter interior, absolutely super cool. It's got a twin turbo 3-liter EcoBoost in it, and started tuning on it, and it's pretty freaking fast. It went a 14.5 in the quarter mile on the draggy stock, and it's got a 1260 at 109 recently. So it's moving, and I think we can go faster, but I also don't want to tear up Ashley's daily driver. I have a video coming out on this soon, but let's take a quick walk around of it. Definitely a cool car to mention. Obviously dirty, filthy, you know, daily driver. Both of these were clean, but, you know, rain and the driveway, you know, all that good stuff. Aviator, really simple mods, Whipple intercooler, Cannon drop-in intake, that's it. Tune by ML with some help from my good friend Nick at Whipple. Peanut butter interior, super dope. Really cool car, absolutely love it. It's on air suspension, so it can actually like pretty much air out. I found out if you like open the trunk, it'll basically slam the whole car, which is pretty cool. It'll basically drop the front and the rear down. Looks pretty freaking cool. You can see it's dropping right now. It can also go up for like mud terrain. Really cool. I want to make a full video on this. I have a good video of the build series, but you can see right there, it's basically aired out, and it'll also go all the way back up. Really cool. Love this car. Fantastic daily driver for Ashley, myself, and Emma, little Emma. Okay, and we cannot go this video without mentioning the F-250. I bought this back in 2020, October of 2020. I've had it now for a really long time, and this is the longest I've kept a vehicle, I think, and the most amount of miles I've put on a vehicle. I bought it brand new. It's got 105,000 miles on it. We tow with it. I daily drive with it. It's pulled the forklift out. It's been there for everything we need to do, and it looks sick. It performs well. It's been tuned since 10,000 miles. It is just, it's awesome. It's fast enough. I think I ran a 13.0 at 105 on the street. So it's not a slouch. It's a big truck, but these 2020 F-250s with a 10-speed and 6.7 diesel, they're pretty sweet. Now, I did have this nice and clean, but went down the driveway once, and well, you know how it goes. Fuel, forged wheels, 20-inch, 37-inch tires, blacked out the grill, front bumper area, that just kind of went through it. The truck is sick. It's Lariat Ultimate. Love it. Like I said, you know, it's just awesome. It is obviously dirty right now, has the full panoramic sunroof. Lariat Ultimate's a great package to have. Like I said, 105,000 miles. It's been fantastic. Love this truck. Gonna give an honorable mention to the 04 Cobra Terminator. You guys have seen this in a lot of videos. I sold this to a friend recently. Just has to come pick it up. But roller currently, this had the Coyote swap in it, 6R80. We nitrosed it, Predator blower. The engine that was in this is now in the Fox body. I was gonna convert this back to a 4.6 valve. Obviously the Red Fire Terminator took its place. So I decided I didn't need two Terminator Cobra convertibles, so I went ahead and sold the roller. So I don't know what's going to happen to this in the future, but it might get a 4.64 valve, or it might get another Coyote. Honorable mention, Crown Vic. I actually just sold it to a friend who's going to put a motor back in it. The Choppin' Escalade. So maybe we'll see the Crown Vic running again. I don't have the time or resources to get her back going, but I'm sure he'll have a lot of fun with this thing. If you guys remember on the channel, this was just kind of the first ratchet build